Jesus and the Father is not Yahweh. We all know or believe that God does not change. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. We also believe, from the Christian perspective, that Jesus is the absolute image, the exact image of the Father. And Jesus himself said that everything he did and said back when he was here was in accord with what the Father either wants him to say or do, or it is exactly what the Father wants him to say or do. So we see here that in the Old Testament, we see the character of Yahweh. Either this is from Yahweh, exactly, or this is similar to what we have right now in our churches, that in certain denominations or cults, preachers say something about God that is not precise or correct, that our understanding of God is not exactly correct. It's either that, or this is really some angel, some messenger from the true God who came to this earth and pretended or placed himself in the position of God towards the Hebrews. So this, if we accept that this Yahweh figure in the Old Testament is simply a divine messenger, like say your pastor right now, standing before the Hebrews, preaching to them what he believes God to be, then we see that whatever attribute this Yahweh says about God is not in line with who the true God really is, based on what Jesus expressed and said specifically about God. But the problem with this view, that this Yahweh is a simple messenger that, shares his own theories about God, is that this Yahweh actually causes bad things and good things to occur to the Hebrews or to the Israelites. Maybe not really good things, as we will see later, because it's obvious that Yahweh causes evil in order to prevent the good that the Father in heaven always gives to either good or evil people. The Father in heaven doesn't arbitrate, doesn't hold himself back to evil people. as we will see in Matthew 5. So here, we have to understand and make it clear in our mind. It's up to you what you think. If this Yahweh here is simply a messenger, a divine messenger, member of the Elohim, who is simply doing his job, trying to do his best to guide the people, or this Yahweh has become proud and stood in the name of God, pretending to be God, and executing judgments and sending curses to punish people in his attempt to shame humanity, to spread the word that we are worthless, that we are dirty. If you notice, in Michael Heiser's discussions about the Old Testament God, we notice that in the sacrificial system, Yahweh is trying to psychologically bombard these people and tell them how they are dirty in his sight. They are unworthy. They are below him. On the contrary, the true God in Jesus, we find that he himself became human and lived among quote unquote sinners. This idea of sinners and, unworthy, this comes from the Old Testament, from Yahweh. Because for generations, this Yahweh has pounded it in the heads of the Hebrews that they are such unworthy people. He was even ready to kill them at a moment's notice. If you read the Old Testament, forget our Sunday school knowledge about the Bible, okay? You need to read the Bible again. Listen to it in audio format. It's found in YouTube. Just read it. Just put it on, lie down, and watch. You notice a lot of things that this Yahweh character is doing. In the situations there, your eyes will be opened, okay? With the knowledge of the true God in Jesus Christ, we will see the truth. And Jesus said that we shall know the truth, okay? He said it. He sends His Spirit, and then we shall know the truth, and the truth shall set us free, okay? Now, either you believe it or not, it's up to you. So here, we will discuss two verses here, okay? From Leviticus 26, verse 3 and 4, and Matthew chapter 5, verse 45, okay? We will contrast this. So in Leviticus, we see the character of Yahweh here, okay? He said, if you follow my statutes and carefully keep my commandments, I will give you rains in their season, and the land will yield its produce, and the trees of the field will bear their fruit. Okay? We see here that Yahweh is arbitrary. Okay? he has these conditions. Okay? If you follow his commandments, he will give you rain in their season. Okay? And the land will be productive. Okay? But if you don't, then curses will fall upon you. Okay? But then, Jesus reveals something about God or the Father right after he sat down on the mount. Okay? Right after the Beatitudes. Now we will discuss that in the next video. How Jesus sitting on the mountain there is a contradiction. The Old Testament Yahweh on Sinai. Okay? He shows, he deliberately shows the difference between the real God, who is the Father, and Yahweh. Okay? By going up to the mountain and sitting down on the mountain. Okay? So here, in Matthew chapter 5 verse 45, we see that Jesus reveals to us that the Father is good all the time. Okay? That's why he tells us to do good. Okay? To love our enemies and pray for anyone who persecutes us. Okay? Unlike Yahweh, who said in Deuteronomy or in Exodus to actually kill. Okay? Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. He says to hate your enemies. Okay? That's what Yahweh said. Or at least, that's what Moses said. Okay? And he claims to have received these laws from Yahweh, who was in Acts chapter 7 spoken of by Stephen as an angel, a Moloch. Okay? And then there's someone who debated me on YouTube and said that Jesus somehow was only saying nobody heard the Father to a certain group of people. How can you say to a certain group of people that nobody heard the Father? Okay, so what's been written is you have never heard the Father. That's fine. But that's not the point. He says that in Acts 7, in the first verse, Stephen actually said that Abraham heard the Father or God. But that's really fishy. Okay? In the first place, it was Moses who wrote these books guided by Yahweh himself. That's number one. So how can you trust that if you know that Moses is speaking to a Moloch Elohim? Okay? An angel, a messenger. Okay? A messenger of the divine council. How can you trust that? So would you believe a prophet then? From the same area that we see right now. Okay? His religion from this angel is in direct competition with Christianity right now. You know what it is. You just don't want to say it because some people might get offended. But this prophet also saw this angel Okay? And gave him revelations. So if you don't believe that book, because it came from an angel, how can you believe now Moses, who wrote these things under the guidance or influence or even duress from this Moloch Elohim who calls himself Yahweh? Okay? How can you believe that? Okay, so let's put that aside. Okay? Let's take this from another angle. So when you read those verses in Acts 7, when you read the word heard God, the word to hear there does not mean an audible voice like what Moses heard. Okay? Moses actually, he claims at least, and the people there saw Yahweh. Okay? Saw his Asherah. Okay? His glory. And actually saw him and heard his voice on the mountain. Okay? It was an audible voice. It was like hearing it from a speaker system. Okay? But Abraham, as mentioned by in the chapter 7 of Acts, the word to hear there means somewhat like an inspiration. Okay? It's like an inner voice. It's not from the external, from an actual being from the external, like a vocal cords or a sound wave. No. It was from his mind. Okay? If you study the word there, it doesn't mean an audible voice. Okay? So that argument, you either believe in Jesus or you either believe in Moses or the prophets. But then we must understand that the Father who came in the clouds, okay? We don't know if that's the Father who came in the clouds on the mountain, on the Mount of Transfiguration, not in thunder and loud noise, okay? Not in darkness, but in a white cloud that nobody even noticed. The surrounding area didn't even notice it. But if it was Yahweh, then everyone will know. Okay? There would be thunder and earthquake and fire, right? And darkness and dark clouds. That's what happened on Sinai, right? The area is even burnt. There were even huge stones there carved as a protection for the people, right? And the Father said there, on the Mount of Transfiguration, He showed them Ezekiel, or Isaiah, and Moses, right? And then Jesus. Then the Father said, listen, this is my Son, listen to him. So what does he mean? He means forget. Listen, forget the Old Testament, forget the Tanakh, the laws, the prophets, and the writings, forget that. Listen to my Son. Okay? That's what he said. That's what he means. Okay? Though he acknowledges that these things exist, the laws, the prophets, and Jesus was even seen talking to them. We don't know what they were talking about, but they were exchanging words. We don't know if they were debating or what, but this vision, this actual vision, represents something, okay? It's up to you now, as a believer in Jesus, to choose Are you of Moses and the prophets, or are you of Jesus? Okay? It's up to you. So, Jesus said here that the Father sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. Okay? Father, the true God, doesn't need this. Okay? Okay? He just sends the rain. He's good to everyone. Okay? So this means that the Father is not Yahweh. And if Jesus is the exact image of the Father, then Jesus himself is not Yahweh. I don't know where this idea comes from. That Jesus is the angel of the Lord, that he is again Yahweh. Okay? I don't know where that idea came from. Because obviously, the Gospels doesn't say that. Okay? It says, the Word became flesh. Yahweh is not the Word. Okay? Now you have to understand, there's this concept. Okay? This, the source of all principalities and dominions. Okay? There's this realm that somebody coined it. I just don't remember the exact term right now. There's this source of life, of even the Elohim, okay? The divine council, or the gods, okay? Now that is the word, okay? It's the Logos, the source of all, okay? The source of all, even the gods, okay? Now Yahweh is a son of El, okay? But maybe that will become a distraction for this discussion. So let's just put that aside for another video. But right now, I want you to focus on these two verses, okay? Leviticus 26, 3-4, and Matthew 5:45, okay? Just think about it, okay? Pray about it, and don't be afraid, okay? Because fear does not come from God, okay? It comes from the devil, okay? Now, one last thing, Michael Heiser said that the territorial God of a region owns that region, right? That's what he said. There was even an illustration he gave about that guy who asked for soil, okay? And he brought that soil to their nation because he wants to worship Yahweh, right? Then, when Jesus arrived, okay, when the time is come, he was tempted and he faced Satan. It seems as though Satan was ruling over that region, okay? The region where Israel lived at that time, okay? Wherever that was, that wilderness, okay? Satan was there. He was ruling even the world because he offered Jesus the kingdoms of the world, okay? But we will discuss that soon in another video, okay? So for now, consider these verses, pray for it, and may the God of peace guide us into all truth so that we may be free. Okay? Because this is what Jesus wants. This is what the Father wants. That we believe in Jesus, and Jesus wants that our joy will be full, complete, perfect. Okay? That's what He wants. So thank you, and may the Lord be with us and continue to guide us into His truth. So be it.